Since 2014, India has witnessed a troubling rise in violence, discrimination, and systemic suppression of its minorities, especially Muslims, but also Christians, Sikhs, and Dalits. Mob lynchings, often over cow slaughter allegations, have become disturbingly common. This move has been condemned by Amnesty International and the United Nations for violating India's secular, constitutional values, alongside the National Register of Citizens (NRC) in Assam, which excluded nearly 1.9 million people, many of them Muslims. The cause sparked fears of state-sanctioned statelessness. Data from India's-Pen revealed that over 90% of cow-related lynchings between 2010 and 2017 occurred after 2014, and most of the victims were Muslim men. This rise in vigilante violence coincides with the political ascent of Hindu nationalist groups and the BJP-led central government. Despite video evidence, authorities delayed action and filed only minor charges, revealing the depth of institutional apathy or even complicity. Similarly, during the farmers' protest, Sikh dissenters were labeled as Khalistanis and anti-nationals, delegitimizing peaceful protest by associating it with extremism. In 2022, Karnataka enforced a hijab ban in educational institutions, targeting Muslim girls and violating their religious rights, decisions upheld by courts, raising concerns about judicial bias and gender discrimination. These often stem from baseless accusations of forced conversion pushed by right-wing groups. Meanwhile, Dalits who convert to Islam or Christianity lose their scheduled caste status and associated benefits, unlike those who convert to Buddhism, thus legally discriminating against certain faiths and restricting social mobility. The impact on India's democracy, secularism, and global reputation is severe. Discrimination, violence, and suppression aren't just violations of human rights, they are threats to the very foundation of a pluralistic society. One of the most controversial laws passed in recent years was the Citizenship Amendment Act, CA of 2019, which openly excluded Muslims from its benefits by offering citizenship only to non-Muslim refugees from neighboring countries. The current ruling BJP has no Muslim member of Parliament, highlighting a troubling gap in political inclusion. Systemically, Muslims face housing discrimination, employment bias, disproportionate police surveillance, and targeting in counter-terrorism operations, all contributing to a climate of fear and marginalization. Mainstream television channels routinely vilify Muslims, branding them as terrorists or anti-nationals, which stokes fear, justifies state violence, and fosters public hostility. The 1992 demolition of the Babri Masjid by Hindu mobs, followed by the 2019 Supreme Court verdict awarding the land to Hindu groups, was seen by many as a failure of justice and a capitulation to majoritarian politics. The 2020 Delhi riots further exposed deep-seated institutional bias. While 53 people were killed, mostly Muslims, independent investigations by The Wire, BBC, while Human Rights Watch, the UN, and Amnesty International have all documented the erosion of legal protections for minorities and growing impunity for hate crimes. And Amnesty International found evidence of police complicity and inaction during the violence. Political leaders like Kapil Mishra were seen making incendiary speeches, yet faced no consequences. Meanwhile, BJP leaders like Yogi Adityanath continue to push narratives like love jihad, targeting interfaith relationships and stoking communal fears. Economic exclusion is another tool of marginalization. In several BJP-ruled states, Muslim vendors have been informally banned from participating in Hindu festivals. Laws against love jihad in states like Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh criminalize interfaith marriages, under the false claim that Muslim men are deceitfully converting Hindu women. These laws have led to wrongful arrests and harassment of innocent men. Meanwhile, in states like Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Bulldozing of Muslim homes and mosques often as retaliation for protests, or minor unrest has occurred without due legal process, blatantly undermining the rule of law. Hate speech is increasingly normalized. At a Hindu religious assembly in Haridwar in 2021, speakers openly called for a Muslim genocide. Christians have not been spared either. Attacks on churches and pastors have increased dramatically, with over 600 incidents recorded in 2022 alone. Media plays a dangerous role in this climate. International organizations have taken note. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom has recommended designating India as a country of particular concern. Muslims are also vastly underrepresented politically. Despite forming over 14% of the population, they make up less than 4% of the Lok Sabha. What's unfolding in India is not just a series of isolated incidents, but a pattern where minorities are being pushed to the margins by both extremist groups and systemic institutions.